just a thought, just a thought. It's my opinion, it's just a thought, just a thought. Get out your feelings.
I have the esteemed pleasure of being able to spend time with one of the newest, and you heard me right, one of the newest housewives in the Real Housewives of Potomac series. Her name is Jacqueline Blake. She's phenomenal, and there's so much more to her than the show. So we'll talk about the show, but we're going to talk about all the amazing things she's doing in the entrepreneurship space, the motherhood space, all that good stuff. So without further ado, Jacqueline, thank you so much for hanging out with me today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here today.
It is my pleasure. So I do have to ask you, as the holidays are not just swiftly coming upon us, they are here. And being a mom of two, how do you prepare?
Already here.
Thanksgiving, Christmas, like what is that frenzy like for you?
Mentally, it's draining. Like as soon as you know it's the holidays, you're like, oh my God, let me get my checklist. Let me figure out like gifts and, what are we doing? Because there's so much pressure as a mom to do all these activities with your kids, Santa taking a picture and, making cookies and, all these things that you do during Christmas, creating this amazing Christmas tree. I feel like nowadays everything is Pinterest. So just like the stress of it all, like it's overwhelming. I'm not going to lie to you. And I typically shop early, like as soon as Black Friday hits, I'm shopping. So right now I have literally from Thanksgiving through January, like New Year's planned.
Wow.
And yes, I do, because if not, I will lose my mind, like lose it completely. Yeah. And like we do a lot like at the Gaylord. That's, near the Potomac.
Mm-hmm.
We do ice skating. We do Santa there, pictures there. We do, there's this huge tree in the atrium and my kids love to see that. And then there's like snowflakes that come down. So that's like a little like family tradition that we do. It's honestly, it's family time for me. So I'm just super busy, basically.
I love it. So what's the biggest, speaking of busy and overwhelmed at times, what's the biggest lesson motherhood has taught you?
Woo! Is there one lesson or is there multiple lessons? I would say that your life is no longer yours. Like everything is about your kids and you are literally you're just the host. Like you're just there and they're running the show. Like that's how I feel most days. Like I'm just here. I'm the nanny. I'm the person that carries your bag. I'm, oh, here's my jacket. Let me throw it on the floor. I'm your maid. You're all that. So, I mean, there's good points to it, but at the end of the day, it's a lot of grunt work.
Yeah. You introduced us to a term, parent partner. I thought that was a cool term that everybody got introduced to, as for those who keep up with Real Housewives of Potomac. So how did you come to a healthy co-parenting dynamic? How did you come to that? Or was that something that just naturally happened? Or was there some real work involved where you can now say, all right, I got a parent partner, we're good?
Honey, it's work every day. Any relationship you have, whether it is you are together or you are not together and you have kids together, it's work. So I would say that it's been a natural progression and, we're not 100% there. I'm not going to pretend like it's all perfect, but we're getting there. We are getting there and we're trying to find those defined lines and all that good stuff. So we're working on an outline. That's all I got to say.
So with that in mind, what would be your advice to,
we got the outline
I like the outline. That's a great start. So
yes.
what would be your advice to women in particular out here who find themselves right now in a situation where they have to co-parent? What would be your biggest piece of advice to them?
I would have to say, take it day by day and don't put too much pressure on yourself. And just really really try to focus on the kids and not put your emotions in it. And it's really easier said than done because there's going to be a lot of emotions from that relationship that's trickling down. But just try your best to be mature adults and put them first because they deserve a healthy environment. I think that's really, at the end of the day, your goal is to give them the best childhood that they can have, regardless of what the circumstances are. And it's possible, a lot of people came from single parent homes and it's possible to have a healthy situation. You just have to work on it, just like anything else that needs and requires work.
I love it. So let's talk about
Mm-hmm.
work a little bit. Let's talk about work. So I just
Mm-hmm.
became so intrigued by you committing to Real Housewives of Potomac because I'm like, her background, her base is in HR. I mean, I would imagine that this is the last place she'd want to be. But I must ask you, what
It
made you
is.
say yes to the show?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you hit the nail right on the head. So I would have to say it was, I have a mentor, and my mentor told me to seize any opportunity that comes your way and just see how it goes. Nobody's asking you to commit for the rest of your life, but you can use this as an opportunity and see where it goes. No, non-committal, no stress. And so I kind of went in it where, okay, let me see how this will work for me. And being a friend of the show is definitely less commitment compared to being a full-blown housewife.
Yeah.
So it seems safe. And then just me being organically me as friend, I felt like it was just going to be a good time. So I was like, okay, let's just go have a good time. Maybe that was stupid of me. I don't know. But maybe it wasn't very thought out. But yeah, I mean, we all have those moments where you don't really think everything out and you're like, okay, well, let me just live. I'm reinventing myself. I'm trying to figure out, where Jacqueline can go next, even though I do have a career and I'm an HR girl. So I'm all about like rules and regulations and kind of living in a defined like box where you can be creative, but at the end of the day, there's rules and there's policies. So this was completely different than what I'm used to because I'm not used to just jumping out there like a fish out of water.
Yeah.
Like I was literally like, okay, how does this work? Where is the welcome packet? Where are the instructions? What is this? Where are the policies? Let me read that. And it's like, oh, really? Like none of that exists? Okay. Yeah, that was pretty scary. I'm not gonna lie.
So was there anything you did in particular to prepare yourself and your girls for this transition? Or did you really just jump in head first? Like, all right, we'll figure it out when we get there.
I jumped in head first. I did talk it over with my family, including Patrick and my closest friends, and they were all on board. They were willing to support me. So it was definitely not my decision on my own. I definitely took into consideration all that was involved. My kids clearly don't know. They're 10 and 3, so it was definitely not their choice. But the good thing was I knew that my kids really wouldn't be, there's no personal story with friends of the show.
Yeah.
So I knew they didn't really have to be on the screen. So it felt safe to me.
Got you. I love that term, felt safe, because I have friends who are in the reality TV space as friends with the show. Some are main characters, and there is a bit of a difference. For you, being in the thick of it, as I'll leave it at that. Was there anything that hit you by surprise? Anything that you were surprised by? It doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. It can be something good as well. I saw your eyes move. I saw the look you gave me. So I'm very interested in this response.
Yes. So I would have to say, I thought that it wouldn't be as stressful. I didn't think it was going to affect my relationship with my best friend. Like you wouldn't have been able to tell me in a million years that it would have affected my relationship with her, because I thought that we were so solid and in sync. So that was an eye-opener. And maybe it was just me being naive, probably very naive going into it, but I didn't think that it would have went down like that, basically.
Yeah. With that said, are there any regrets you have with that said?
Honestly, in life, I don't really have too many regrets because I feel like I prayed about it and I asked God, because I'm spiritual as well. I asked him, if this is for me, let it be for me. If it's not for me, close the door immediately. And he kept the doors opening, and I got casted. Every interview went well. And I asked him to use me in whatever manner that he wanted to use me. And, I didn't ask any questions. I let him lead me.
Yeah. Yeah. I believe that Black women are brilliant. We are phenomenal. We're the best multitaskers this side of heaven. We're super gifted and super talented. But I do believe that for some weird reason, not even weird, but for some fundamental reason, we do struggle with getting along, especially when you throw in working together. So for
We
you,
do.
what do you think? What do you think if you could nail this down to like one root as to why this is a continuous cycle with us? What would that be in your
Mhm.
opinion?
I feel like I feel like we all have deep-rooted insecurities.
Mm,
Systemically.
yeah.
Mhm.
Expound on that. That's a great point to
Yeah.
make.
I would say that it's, I feel like sometimes when we win in our community, we're not as open to bring others up with us. I feel like that's the biggest issue in our community. It's like, oh, I got it. I'm up here. Let me ride in the Cadillac or the Porsche or the whatever car you're talking about. And then yeah, my friends can come hop in the car, but I don't care that you're getting back in your Honda Civic.
Hmm.
And I feel like I think that's really the biggest issue, that we need to understand that there are plenty of crowns to go around. And when I succeed, you succeed. It's always a constant struggle for us. So when you get up there, do not forget to reach back. And I think that's, people talk about it, but they don't really live it. They don't live it. It sounds good, but do I really want to bring you up with me? And can I trust you enough to bring you up with me? That's the thing.
Wow. Thank you for expounding on that.
Yeah.
I think that's a great
Yeah.
point. And
That's
we
my
talk about,
opinion. Now, whether that's true or not, yeah.
I share it. I think obviously there's other fundamental reasons why, but that I believe that's a big one. So thank you for sharing that. And you talk about bringing others with you. You're a phenomenal businesswoman. You got some great things going on on that side of the aisle. How did you know that entrepreneurship was really for you? And then just kind of long scale, what are some of your goals as you continue to build out your business?
So I had a mentor who did a lot of business, and he and she, my mentors, basically, brought it to my attention how to use what I do, and I've worked in different government spaces, and I've learned a lot through those government spaces, HR in their way. They kind of taught me how they were doing their business and how they can really, earn more money and kind of be more independent, where you can work from home and still kind of bring in the same amount of money or even more. And so that kind of caught my eye, like, how do you do this? How can I take my talent that I learned in corporate America and in the government and build upon it in a manner where I can, exceed that regular 9 to 5 salary?
Yeah.
Because it caps. At some point you cap, even in the government level, like a 15. If you get beyond the 15 and you get to, the SES or whatever levels they have in the government, there's a cap, and it can take you your entire life to get to that level where you're at that level, and I realized that why are we so talented where we feel like, okay, once I get that to that certain salary, I'm content with that. Why can't I go beyond that? And that's where I was. I'm like, how can I do that? And I saw them doing it. And I felt like, why not give back to those small businesses, minority owned, women owned companies, where we can work together in these government spaces and utilize the resources that we have, because there's plenty of programs for us.
Yeah.
And really do it. Especially in DC, Maryland, Virginia, like, government is big. So
Yeah.
there's money for us. There's millions of money for us. So why not use your talent that you learn, and flip that and help other government, smaller business companies grow, or you be that business. And that's what I'm learning now. Am I completely where I want to be? No, I'm still learning, but through other people, I've seen a different way of living.
I love that. And,
Yeah.
you talk about mentorship a lot. You've mentioned it several times. And, I believe that it's a key for people when they want to elevate to their highest peak of potential, I'll say.
Mhm.
What is the, for you talk about paying it forward as well. for yourself as a mentor, not a mentee, what is something that you lead with that is a necessary thing that you do to try to impart into those that you mentor?
I would say that don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone, because we get very comfortable with these jobs, our 401ks, and there's nothing wrong with that, because that's good. You know, you want your pension, you want all that, you want that security, and I get that. And if that's for you, that's fine. But if you have one little ounce of what's out there, try it out and see how it goes. I would recommend before kids, maybe. Maybe not when, try that early on, because it's a little hard when you have children. Not to say you can't do it, but I would say, if it doesn't challenge you, then you're not really living up to your fullest potential. And it's okay to go out there and make mistakes or fall down and say, oh, this wasn't it for me. Because at the end of the day, you still can get back into that 9 to 5. You're still hireable. You can still go back to that regular life if you want to, but you'll never get that opportunity to go outside that box. That's a once in a lifetime thing.
You mentioned challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest challenge you've overcome so far as an entrepreneur in the HR space?
I would have to say it can be challenging to get good people that want to work with you or for you, that are okay with leaving their 9 to 5s. Because HR people are very structured and they want a structured life. We're very structured. So it's hard to kind of get them to get out of that mundane job. So you get a lot of part-time help where they're working after work, they're working on the weekends, and it's, you may not get that type of quality from those people. And you really have to have the backup to be able to say, okay, I can get you in working for me, and I'll give you the insurance, the 401k and all that. And you really have to be ready to be able to give them what they need as an HR professional. That's the hardest thing for me.
Very interesting. I know that you recently lost your father. My condolences, first of all. And one of the things that you've been doing is continuing to extend his legacy by sharing these words of wisdom and things of that sort. And for you, how has your perspective changed at all since his loss? And meaning that utilizing what you learned from him, and even in his loss, to continue to move your life forward, to elevate your life and continue to inspire other people.
I would say I learned from my father that you only, life is very precious and you never know when your time is going to be up. So I feel like he taught me to live more and to experience more than being closed up and scared. Before he died, I think I had an opportunity to work in Hawaii in the government. And I was terrified. And I was like, I don't want to go there. I don't know anybody. I don't want to leave you and mom. I don't want to, and he was just like, Jacqueline, you have an opportunity, go for it. Don't worry about me. I mean, he was literally like in the hospital, and he said, no, go ahead and do it. And so I feel like through him, I learned live life, like stop being so scared, like just step out that box,
Yeah.
And he always supported anything and everything that I wanted to do. And he always taught me, take the high road, like whatever you do it right, follow the rules. You don't want anybody to come after you. He always taught me to play it safe, but he also said, it's okay to take a chance within rules. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it's legal, go ahead and do it. You know what I mean? Live your life, basically. I ain't doing nothing illegal. Yeah. So that's legal.
Let
just go ahead and
fear. Let go of the fear as long as it's legal. Boom.
Yeah, let go of the fear. Yeah. Just step out there sometimes. It's scary, but do it.
All right, manifester, as you describe
yourself.
Speaking of stepping out, for you, what are your goals or your manifestation goals personally and professionally as we wrap Q4 up and go into a new year?
I would say manifestation, I'd say, this is a hard one. I have so many mantras. I would say, my gosh.
Take your time, because I'm excited about this answer.
This is hard. My mantra is be the woman that you always wanted to be, and believe in that woman, and know that you can be that woman that you always wanted to be. But she'll never be perfect, and it's okay. And every day, even if you literally have a horrible day and you do everything that you didn't want to do, tomorrow's a new day and you start over from scratch. It's a new beginning and it's a new day. So every day I kind of wake up with just hope that it'll be better from yesterday. I don't care how bad it went. I'm just going to erase that. We're starting over. So just always just be that woman that you see, that you want to be, and believe that you can be that. And uplift other women.
I like how you put that on the end of that. Goes back to putting an exclamation point on some of our other question and answers earlier. And I want to ask you too, Jacqueline, just, as you continue to build out your empire and your business, how can people connect with you? How can people possibly, help or reach out and say, hey, I'm looking to make a shift in my career. I'd love to partner with you or be on your team. How can they do that?
I would say, reach out to me, DM me. I have my contact information on my Instagram page, thejacquelineblake@gmail.com. Reach out to me, connect with me, because I am out here just like any other regular woman, like beyond Housewives of Potomac. I'm that regular girl, like in the grocery store, hanging out with friends, with my family. I am very down to earth. I'm bougie, but I'm down to earth. And I love people. And, I can literally have a conversation with anybody. And don't be afraid. Just reach out, tell me what you're working with, and maybe we can do some things together. We can collab.
Absolutely. So I just have to deep sigh on this. Anything, Real Housewives of Potomac is on Bravo. They're in season right now, guys. Plenty more episodes left. Anything we need to brace ourselves for without giving too much away. That's all of that. That's the question. Anything.
A complete nosedive. I feel like I honestly have no clue. Like every time I watch episode, I'm like, wow, I'm finding out new things. So from my perspective and what I saw when I was on it, it is a lot. It's a lot. So get ready, because you're going to have the ride of your life. You're going to see, you're going to see it all. And maybe you don't want to see it, but it's there. So if you are that kind of person, it's like, oh my gosh, I don't want to see that. It's so embarrassing. Don't watch. Not to say we didn't keep it classy, because we've kept it classy. Potomac is a classy franchise. And as you can hear, Michelle Obama loves us in Atlanta. So yeah, we keep it classy, but there are times where, it's a little questionable. Okay. The question mark in the block, it's questionable. So be prepared. And there's a lot of shade. And that's every single time we come, everybody literally came and they did something, whether it was good, bad, or ugly, indifferent, people came. Okay.
All right. I'm going to keep watching. You all have taken over. You might be my favorite. It's always been I'm on my Michelle Obama. I've always gone between the two, Atlanta and Potomac, but I think Potomac has the edge at this point. No shade to my Atlanta housewives. I love y'all too, but I think Potomac has the edge. So I can't wait to continue to watch. And I'm just really thankful for this time, Jacqueline. I think you're phenomenal.
Yes.
And thank you so much for all
I
that
enjoy talking to you.
Thank you so much. I enjoy talking to you too. Thank you for your transparency. And I salute you, and just all the best with everything that you got going on the entrepreneurial side and Real Housewives of Potomac, because you're a great fit. So thank you for this.
Thank you so much for having me.
Just a thought, it's my opinion. It's just a thought, Get out your feelings.